On this week's episode of The Pulse, War in the Middle East, we'll have an interview with Rabbi Ratner and Imam Aga.
Meet the award-winning Sacred Heart and Pulse alum.
The Turkey Drive is back, and let's find out about Fairfield's Restaurant Week.
And get a look into the university's dance program. I'm Brad Hutchison.
And I'm Megan Harkins. These stories and more on Sacred Heart's very own monthly news show.
You're watching The Pulse.
From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
With tensions in the Middle East still high, the United States is seeing a rise in both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, especially on college campuses.
Isabella Fabo has the story of one concerned Jewish student on our very own campus.
For many of us, the conflict in the Middle East is half a world away. But for Jewish student Sarah Foley, it is so much closer than that.
The conflict hits very close to home for me. My aunt, my mom's sister, and her husband and her two kids all live in Israel. They've lived there for a while. Both of my cousins already did their service in the IDF when they were younger, but they both got called back to serve.
Both my son and my daughter came back from, my son from the States. My daughter was on a trip to Thailand. They came home immediately and went directly to the army. It's scary, and I think it's scary for Sarah too.
Not only is it scary to have family in Israel and the Israeli Defense Force, or IDF, but it can also be scary to be a Jewish student on a college campus.
Across U.S. campuses at some of the biggest universities like Harvard, Columbia, NYU, there's been demonstrations that I wouldn't call peaceful protests in any way.
I'm fearful for Sarah. I'm fearful for anybody that's in a college environment.
Some pro-Palestinian protests have quickly become anti-Semitic, with protesters across numerous prominent college campuses using hate speech and threatening the Jewish community. Many clips have circulated on social media, along with the spread of misinformation.
We don't want Israel to exist. We don't want these Zionist counter-protesters to exist.
Through social media here, I think a lot of misinformation is being spread. At the moment, there's still over 280 hostages in Israel that have not been returned home. Here in the U.S., I mean, you see it all over social media. There's people tearing down these posters of the hostages and drawing Hitler mustaches.
This increase in anti-Semitism across the U.S., with demonstrations and hostage posters being torn down, has led many to feel this behavior is all too familiar.
When I learned about Holocaust in school my entire life, they say, we teach you about this because we don't want history to ever repeat itself. And for a lot of Jews right now, including myself, that's what we feel is happening.
And people are saying, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. If you look at a map of the area, from the river to the sea means there will be no Israelis, that Israel will cease to exist. And people just say this without understanding that they're calling for a genocide of Israelis.
With so much to worry about during this difficult time, Sarah is able to get by with the support from those close to her.
So I feel really lucky to have the support system that I do here on campus. I'm on the women's rugby team here. My teammates and coaches have been fantastic supporting through all of this. It's tough, but with the support I've had here, it's definitely made it, I don't want to say easier, but it's definitely felt more bearable to get through knowing that I have people around me who care.
In addition to the support from her team and her friends here at SHU, she believes the university could be doing more for Jewish students.
Here in the U.S., both American Muslims and American Jews are being affected, hurt, and impacted by what's going on. So it would be nice if Sacred Heart offered the same safe space to Jews that they're offering to Muslims.
During a time like this, safety is a major concern for many Jewish students.
I've never really felt the need to hide who I am, what my upbringing was, the religion I practice until now, which is just a scary community feeling that all Jews, I think, across the U.S. and especially Jews on college campuses are feeling right now, with the threat of not feeling safe in a place they consider home.
All college students should strive to make their campus a safe place for both Jewish and Muslim communities. This has been Isabella Fabo reporting for The Pulse, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Isabella is here with us in the studio to further this discussion of the Middle East conflict and a plea for peace.
Thanks, Megan, and thank you, Rabbi, for being here. My first question is, how is this current conflict different than previous conflicts we've seen in the Holy Land before?
On October 7th, the entire status of that relationship and Israel's understanding of its relationship with Hamas changed dramatically. We saw on October 7th the loss of more Jewish lives in one day than any day since the Holocaust. Over 1,200 Israelis were killed, and not just killed, but, and I hope this is okay with your viewers, savagely butchered. I mean, we saw there was instances of beheadings. They would come into an elderly woman's home and force her to turn on her Facebook page and do a Facebook Live video to her family of them killing her. This is the kind of savagery and brutality that went on. And in addition to killing 1,200 civilians, and this is not a fight against soldiers. These were people at a music festival. These were people, peace lovers on a communal farm, things of that nature. In addition, 220 plus Israelis and non-Israelis, there's quite a few citizens of Thailand and elsewhere, were kidnapped by Hamas and remain in captivity in Gaza right now. Israel realized at that moment that they could no longer coexist with Hamas being just a few miles away from where they were, and with Hamas committed to destroying Israel and indiscriminately killing Israeli civilians, that Israel had to take action now once and for all to eliminate Hamas to the extent it's able.
One of the things that it's happening now is of course, the number of people affected live in front of cameras, and as people, as Muslims or as Americans who live far away, as religious people, but also as human beings, I am seeing a lot of people, not just Muslims, not just Jews, but a lot of people who are watching the news, who want this to end as soon as possible, who don't want to see affected lives, and of course want a lasting peace, not just for some days, but they want to see peace coming there and staying there forever.
Israelis and Palestinians have come close to achieving peace before, but kind of given what you've just explained and given what's happened in the past month of the ongoing situation, do you think it's still possible to achieve peace?
I do. I pray that it is, but it's not going to be as easy as we think or we hope. I know it's sort of our knee-jerk Western reaction to say let's just get to a ceasefire and let's get to peace and understanding and love. But that's not really how things work in the Middle East so much. Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a different mindset, a different mentality, and sometimes the only way to get to peace, sadly, is through some war. Both Israelis and Palestinians do too much teaching to themselves of why they should not trust or even hate the other. This starts in schools, mm-hmm. in elementary schools. We have to teach understanding of the legitimacy of each other's backgrounds and perspectives and histories, and not start demonizing from an early age if we want to build the next generation, the generation after that, that's going to support peace initiatives.
Any collective punishment, not just according to faiths, but according to all types of laws, is not something to embrace. So absolutely, I believe that peace is possible, and but I also know that peace is harder mm-hmm. Than war. War is easy when you compare it with peace. So we need a lot of peace pioneers.
We normally think of us being more progressive and understanding one another in modern eras than in previous ones, but that's actually not true when it comes to Jewish-Muslim relations. There's so much in common culturally, religiously. We both believe in Abraham as the sort of the father of both of our religious traditions. The Muslims see the sacrality of the Hebrew Bible as part of their tradition, and Jewish prophets as part of their system of prophets. There's so much that's similar in terms of senses of religious duty and obligation.
To be as a friend of God, and knowing that passes through being a friend of each other, and knowing the value of an innocent life, I think would be a very strong common ground to keep us together in daily life. And these types of conflict will never end till the last day of of life in this earth. And the change will be people.
Unfortunately, seen not just a rise, but really an explosion. And I can speak more to the anti-Semitism. Since October 7th, the number of incidents of hate, whether it's spoken or written or physical violence, has been just horrifying to listen to read about, to see. I happened to go to Columbia as an undergrad, and watching the inability of people to feel safe from the permissibility that people feel to say and post things online on their social media feeds without any thought to how they come across to others. And then that kind of radicalized othering of and demonization of those who don't fit into your group then starts to surface in physical acts and in hateful rhetoric. Look, I think free speech is important, and it's important for students on college campuses to be exposed to ideas that are different from theirs.
I think that we should be educated. We should educate ourselves, knowing more about each other, knowing more about this conflict. It's interesting to say this for university students, but just because we are university students or staff doesn't mean that we are educated about the specific conflict.
No one should be the victim of Islamophobia or anti-Semitism or other hate, and we should have a sense on campus of being united and being together in this partnership of community and support one another.
Exactly, very well said. Well, thank you for being here today, and back to you.
This is the season of giving, and Sacred Heart is once again holding their annual turkey drive. For the past 12 years, SHU student government has raised money to give back to the Bridgeport community during Thanksgiving. This year is no different. Alicastro has the story of the efforts being made to raise donations.
Today I am here at St. Charles Borromeo Church, where Sacred Heart's 12th annual turkey drive will be taking place on November 21st. Since the beginning of October, members of the student government have been working diligently to collect donations online to provide a turkey to 1,200 families in the community of Bridgeport, Connecticut.
So the turkey drive is something that student government has been doing for many years. And in collaboration with the Office of Community Engagement, our goal is to provide Thanksgiving dinner to families in need. We partner with ShopRite of Milford and an alumni named Harry. He helps us get these turkeys for our families. And like I said, it's about 1,200 turkeys that we get, and we bring them into the church, we set them up, and then families are able to come in and pick up their turkey as well as a bag of sides and canned goods that the Office of Community Engagement collects during the year as well. So it's really, really exciting. They get a full Thanksgiving dinner, which is amazing. And to see those families get that food, to see them walk away with a full Thanksgiving meal for their families, it's something that's just unforgettable. And it really, really goes to show how much these donations are needed and how much they make a difference, even $1.
The poverty rate in Bridgeport is 20.4%, which is higher than the national average of 13.4%.
After the pandemic in 2020, we've really seen, especially in Bridgeport, the drastic need for food for families. Our advisor, Alex Barkley, he always says, these are people that are going to be on the other end of these donations. These are people that are going to get this food. And that makes all the difference in the world for us.
To help meet the ongoing needs in the Bridgeport community, student government is working to raise $25,000 for members of the Bridgeport community. This is a long-standing tradition that unites the members of the SHU community to come together and reach their goals of helping local families and their loved ones this Thanksgiving season.
So far we're at about $13,000, and we still have, a couple more days to get up to our goal of $25,000. Last year we raised a little over $20,000, which was sufficient to get our turkeys for our families, but the goal is to get as much as possible, which is why we really are doing a last-minute push to our Sacred Heart community and to our students to get those last couple thousand that we need for these families. It's so great to see the work that we do to hand these turkeys out to the families. It just makes such a big difference, and we really aim to just help our community in need.
If you're interested in funding the purchase of a turkey for a family in need this holiday season, you can donate online now at crowdfunding.sacredheart.edu and scroll down and click on the 12th Annual Student Government Turkey Drive and make a donation from there. From Bridgeport, Connecticut, this is Alicastro reporting for The Pulse.
The turkey drive is a really great cause.
It is. So let's make sure we keep donating so that Sacred Heart hits their goal.
When we get back, Find out all the details about professional and shoe sports.
And meet Sacred Heart's award-winning dance team. We'll be right back.
The pursuit of truth and knowledge.
Recognition of dignity and worth of every human being.
Promotion of the common good of society.
We're always evolving. Your passions should always change, right? Not to say that you should throw away your old passion. You know, they root you, they make you who you are. If I ever want to progress in life, I know that I have to learn new things, be understanding of different cultures, different backgrounds, different interests.
The lessons I learn at Sacred Heart can help me make a meaningful impact that it will lead me to do work that is good for every single person in the world.
I'm drawn to writing socially impactful pieces because theater, it speaks to broad audiences. They can learn from the piece, or they might sit there and say, I've been through that. Even if it's just one person, I feel like then it was a successful piece.
You are not only going to learn from other students, but you're going to learn about yourself.
I was always asking why, and I saw that with molecular and cellular biology, you go to the smallest detail of that why. In my future path, I hope to answer more of those whys.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Working on The Pulse gives students professional experience that prepare us for a variety of careers in broadcasting. But don't just take my word for it. Brendan Williams has a story of one Sacred Heart alum still utilizing her skills from The Pulse in her career.
Sacred Heart alumna Sabrina Garone wears many hats at WSHU Public Radio. She produces the station's weekly music series Sunday Baroque and the climate podcast Higher Ground. Sabrina currently hosts and produces WSHU's daily podcast After All Things, which started during the pandemic to meet the listeners where they were with digital content, as a decline in listeners to the station's live broadcast came as people were forced to forego their daily commutes and work from home.
So After All Things is just a condensed version of our live news broadcast. So it's just the stories of the day in a very short, easily digestible little podcast for people to listen to at their own convenience and don't have to listen to us live on the radio anymore.
Garone was a producer on the prestigious Peabody Award-nominated podcast Still Newtown, an 11-episode podcast that chronicled Newtown, Connecticut, a decade after the news trucks left the small town.
No, it was just a great opportunity to share stories of people from the Newtown community that get overlooked. You know, the bigger networks will parachute into these places, get their soundbite and go. But since we're a part of the community, we're right here, we really had the time to speak to people and invest and really get to know them on a personal level.
Garone is a double alum of Sacred Heart, both completing her undergrad and going on to the journalism and media production graduate program, where she got her start at WSHU in the Corman News Fellowship Program. During homecoming weekend, she was one of 5 honored with the School of Communication, Media, and the Arts Alumni Excellence Award.
Well, I was incredibly surprised by it. I had serious imposter syndrome about it, especially looking at, the work that some of the other people had done. But no, it was super cool, and I just feel like it's such a blessing that I get to do work that I'm really passionate about while continuing to get to be a part of the Sacred Heart community. I think that's really cool and unique. And I'm also very passionate about Sacred Heart. I believe in the mission and all that too, and to get to be a part of the community still is very special.
As an undergrad, Sabrina didn't always plan on going into the field of journalism.
I've always been a creative person, and just my interests lied in a million different places. But I came here as an English major thinking I wanted to be a writer. But I just found that style of writing to be kind of boring. And I was familiar with the journalism field. My aunt was a news anchor at News 12 for a long time, so I was kind of familiar with it. But I tried some classes in the media studies department, and I thought it was super fun. As an undergrad, I had zero confidence in myself. And it wasn't until Professor Alicastro came to me with this opportunity to be on The Pulse, because he was like, I know you're a good writer. We have a lot of kids who are good at the techie stuff, but we need someone who's really good at writing the script. So that gave me a lot of confidence just from that, thinking, wow, this guy thinks I can do it. Okay, might as well give it a try. And I ended up really enjoying it. Everything that I was doing on The Pulse is stuff that I'm doing with my own podcast. I use that same script writing document for the podcast script. So yeah, it gave me a huge confidence boost, and everything that I'm doing now is what I did then.
You can listen to Sabrina daily on After All Things from WSHU. Reporting for The Pulse, Brendan Williams, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Well, congratulations to Sabrina and all her accomplishments. Sabrina wasn't the only alum that was honored with an award. 3 other alumni were recognized at Sacred Heart School of Communications, Media, and the Arts Alumni Awards events. Alexandra Padalino, class of 2018, worked at ESPN and is now the Senior Manager of Global Communications of the Special Olympics. Brian Fitzsimmons, class of 2008, is currently an Assistant General Manager at Barstool Sports.
Andrew Oshan, class of 2004, has had an impressive career, working for companies like the WWE, Warner Brothers, Discovery Sports, and Sports Illustrated. He eventually started his own company, Mall Media, with clients like the NBA, Geico, JetBlue, ESPN, and more.
Now, let's hear about national sports. Victor DiPiero has the rundown on what's been going on in the professional leagues. Victor?
Thanks, Brad. Let's take a look at what's going on in the sports world. The 2023 MLB season has finally come to a close. On November 1st, the Texas Rangers defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-0 in Game 5 of the World Series to capture their first World Series in club history. Rangers star shortstop Corey Seager took home his second World Series MVP trophy after hitting 3 home runs and driving in 6 runs in the 5 games. Rangers faithful showed out to celebrate the champs, as more than 700,000 people were in attendance for their championship parade. However, this World Series only averaged 9.1 million viewers, which is the least watched fall classic on record. While one season might have ended, another is heating up. Let's see how the AFC and NFC playoff picture is shaping up as of Week 11. Coming off a bye week, the Kansas City Chiefs still sit on top of the AFC with a record of 7-2. The Baltimore Ravens are right in their rearview mirror with a record of 7-3, followed by the Jacksonville Jaguars in 3rd place at 6-3, and the Miami Dolphins rounding out the 4th spot at 6-3. Over to the wildcard teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns hold the 5th and 6th seeds respectively, followed by the surprising Houston Texans in the 7th seed at 5-4. Switching over to the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles look primed to make another deep playoff run, as they sit on top of their conference with an 8-1 record. The Detroit Lions, one of the more surprising teams this year, are sitting right on their heels at 7-2. The San Francisco 49ers are comfortably in 3rd at 6-3, followed by the New Orleans Saints sitting in the 4th seed at 5-4. The wildcard seeding also seems to be heating up as well, with the Seattle Seahawks and Dallas Cowboys both occupying the 5th and 6th spots at 6-3, followed by the Minnesota Vikings filling out the last playoff spot at 6-4. Now, here are some predictions for some awards at the conclusion of the season. Houston Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, the 2nd overall pick in the 2023 draft, seems to be running away with Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ever since he was drafted in 2017, Patrick Mahomes has taken the league by storm. Through 9 games this year, Mahomes has led the Chiefs to a 7-2 record, which has him occupying the 1st seed in the AFC. Mahomes is currently the odds-on favorite to win his 3rd NFL MVP award. They say defense wins championships, and that philosophy is especially true when it comes to guys like Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett. Garrett, the #1 overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, has done nothing but cause havoc for opposing NFL QBs since entering the league. Through 10 weeks, Garrett seems to be running away with Defensive Player of the Year. I am very excited to see how the rest of the season plays out. That's all for this week. Back to you.
Thanks, Victor. Now on to Sacred Heart Sports. We want to give a shout out to Shoes women athletes who have had an impressive season. The field hockey team won the NEC championship for the 2nd time in program history. The women's rugby team made it to the NRA semifinal.
Women's volleyball clinched the NEC regular season title on their senior day, and everyone has high expectations for the champion women's basketball team in their last season in the NEC. Molly Jacob is at the Pitt Center with everything you need to know about the university's change in conference. Molly?
For the last 24 years, Sacred Heart has been proud members of the Northeast Conference, and after 74 NEC championships, the university is going to be parting ways with the NEC and moving to the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference starting July 1st of 2024. Director of Athletics Junianne Riccio told me that this is going to be a better experience for not only the players, but the fans as a whole, because they're going to have better recruiting and a better geographical footprint. That's right, Sacred Heart's going to be playing Fairfield and Quinnipiac way more often. Merrimack College will also be making the move to the MAC, expanding the school distances from Maryland to Massachusetts for the first time since 1980. President John Petillo said that the invitation to the MAC aligns with the strategic initiatives and growth of Sacred Heart University. So good luck to all of our future athletes here at Sacred Heart. Reporting from the Pitt Center, I'm Molly Jacob. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Molly. If all this talk of sports doesn't work up an appetite, our next story sure will. Fairfield recently held a restaurant week, where members of the community were invited to explore a variety of local dining options. Patrick Quigley has the story.
Nestled in the heart of New England, Fairfield, Connecticut celebrated a 2-week-long culinary display that delighted locals and visitors alike. Fairfield Restaurant Week, which took place from October 23rd to November 5th, is a cherished tradition that has become a highlight of the fall season for 12 years now.
It's really a 2-week long celebration of the culinary arts. It gives the public an opportunity to check out some of their local favorites in terms of restaurants here. We've got a great dining scene. Also an opportunity for people to check out someplace new that they may have not experienced before.
This culinary spectacle is not just any event. The town of Fairfield is dedicated to bolstering the local dining scene through community engagement, raising awareness for beloved eateries, and introducing residents to a surplus of fresh, local dining experiences.
It's probably one of the more highly anticipated and popular events that we have here in town. Everyone kind of looks forward to Restaurant Week in the fall. It's part of our fall celebration. So I know many people are always asking, when's Restaurant Week? When's it going to happen? For a couple years ago, we expanded it to 2 weeks, really around the pandemic.
But what makes this event truly special is the unwavering support of the local community for its businesses.
I think that's what you find. The community is very supportive of our local businesses, and people give back.
Restaurant Week in Fairfield offers an array of choices, catering to diverse tastes and preferences. It's an ideal opportunity to explore new culinary gems and embark on a journey through Fairfield's rich tapestry on food culture.
Nice thing about Restaurant Week is we have a lot of different cuisine, dining experience, price points, people offering both lunch and/or dinner specials. So it really is in what you're in the mood for.
Fairfield's local economy is vibrant, diverse, and built on a foundation of strong small businesses.
I think our local economy is very strong and diverse. Features a lot of small businesses. Restaurants are just one part. It's a very dynamic scene. We've got a lot of great restaurants from which to choose from, and certainly Restaurant Week is part of supporting that local industry.
The success of Fairfield Restaurant Week isn't just measured by its popularity, but also by its continuous effort to improve.
We do a survey of our restaurateurs to see how things went and if we can do things differently. We do get feedback from the public routinely during the event, before and after the event.
The event's focus on inclusiveness extends to newer and smaller establishments.
I think that's one of the benefits of participating in Fairfield Restaurant Week, especially for smaller establishments, brand new restaurants. We don't encourage restaurants that just open their doors to take part, but certainly after you get your footing after a few months of operations, it really does make sense to introduce yourself to community through events like this. So we do encourage many of the smaller and newer restaurants to take part, because it's just another way to introduce yourself to the broader community and get people in your doors and trying someplace new.
Restaurant Week isn't just a culinary journey. It's a celebration of community, celebrating local businesses, and a cherished tradition that continues to evolve. Remember, put your money where your heart is. Reporting for The Pulse, Patrick Quigley, Fairfield, Connecticut.
After the break, learn about all the clubs offered to SHU students.
And find out about our local haunted history. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to The Pulse. The seniors on the Sacred Heart varsity dance team have had a college athletic experience like no other. Isabella Gerardina and Molly Jacob have the story on why the sisterhood bond of this group has left a mark on the university.
Rewarding.
Memorable.
Super fun.
Inspiring.
Empowering.
Appreciative.
Special.
Successful.
The 10 seniors on the Sacred Heart dance team have demonstrated a sisterhood that has shaped the bonds of success. Their impact has left a mark on not only their teammates, but also on their head coach, Raina Van Flork.
So the senior class has been a force since they came on their freshman year. The senior class is the first year that I was able to coach and bring to nationals. My first true year coaching got cut short because of COVID. I feel like I was able to really start with them, and it was a learning process for me, but they had my back. They were natural born leaders really when they came in their freshman year, and they've continued that. And it's just allowed them to, as a whole, not just the captains, be really good role models for all of the underclassmen underneath them.
I think we're all very different and we all have a lot to bring to the table, so people look up to us in different ways, like who we're comfortable with and as a person, as a dancer.
Our freshman year was really different because we danced in pods, so there was like a group of, 10 dancers out of like a team of 40 at each like practice time, so we all weren't dancing together, so it kind of was hard to get to know each other freshman year. So having us all be in Seton as freshmen helped a lot. It was crazy.
It was
crazy,
fun, but it was also like good because that's where we all like really got close and like got to meet each other because there was no other opportunities to do that.
And now 6 of us live together.
Yeah.
Our freshman year, all we really knew was each other because we were in pods, so we always hung out. We had the same exact schedule, and over the years, we basically eat, sleep, dance. So I was around them all the time, and now they're all my best friends.
You know, as freshmen, I usually don't like them rooming together just in case to avoid any issues, but seeing them continue their friendships outside of the team and graduating, it really does create this lifelong bond that they're able to continue outside of college.
Now heading into the spring semester, their hard work and efforts will pay off and be put to the test as they head into their most anticipated part of the season. In March 2024, they will travel down to Florida to compete in their collegiate cheer and dance championship.
I would say my favorite part is nationals because I never did that competing with my studio, so it's just so rewarding because that's like our big thing of the year, so we look forward to that. We don't have several competitions throughout the year.
My goal is really for them to have no regrets. It is such an amazing experience. I was on the team when I was a student here, and it really is just an unforgettable memory that is like top 10 in your list of like all-time memories. So I just hope they enjoy the experience, take in every moment.
The seniors are hoping to lead by example and leave a legacy not only for the team, but also for the university.
You have a name on your chest. I think compared to studio dance, it was kind of like your last name, but this year like a team. So you're representing the school, you're representing the university, and to be that entertaining factor for people, kind of, if we can make a smile to your day, that's all we really want to do.
Reporting for The Pulse, this is Isabella Giardina and Molly Jacob, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Sacred Heart University provides students with a wide range of dance styles through the dance program. I had the chance to go behind the scenes and take a closer look at SHU's Inception Dance Crew, a professional track hip-hop program.
Sacred Heart University is widely known for its strong dance program. It attracts many students and is one of the key factors in their decision to attend SHU. Within the program is Inception Dance Crew, a professional track hip-hop program that provides students with the opportunity to learn what they would expect in a professional industry dance setting.
I was on a company at my old studio, so I did the ballet, the jazz, the tap, the point, but as I got older, hip-hop was definitely my strong suit, so I feel like Inception is perfect for when you love hip-hop. This is really strictly hip-hop.
Inception holds tryouts in the fall of each academic year. They have a limited number of spots, but are always focused on recruiting talented dancers to their group. Junior Maura Walters just joined Inception this semester.
So I'm new to the group, but I'm really involved in the dance company, so I kind of got to know everyone throughout the years. But it's been super awesome seeing how they work together, and I've loved watching them throughout the years. So just being involved has been super amazing for me, and I'm just super hyped to be in with all of them now.
For the last 2 years, Walters has been heavily focused on other styles of dance while being on Pro Track, and now gets to add hip-hop to the performances that she will be in.
So now I get to like expand my dance career kind of in the more hip-hop direction, which has like made me grown so much as a dancer, even like just this semester.
Another new addition to the group is their choreographer Lexi Sahagan, who just started this fall. She was given the opportunity to work with the crew from previous choreographers that she knew who had taught them and gave them high praise.
They really overexceeded my expectations. They're all just a really strong group and they mesh really well together. And they're really open to learning new choreography. They're open to new styles. Like, they're really ready for anything. We've had a little bit of an opportunity to teach a couple of different styles of hip hop, and they're so strong at everything, and they just make everything look good.
She makes it a goal to choose a song that resonates with both her and her students on a personal level.
It's challenging because sometimes it's about me. The piece is about something that I've been through, but I have to give them a way to connect to it. So we talked a lot about how it can personally connect to their lives, so that they can pull their emotion from a real place, so that when the audience is watching, it feels more real.
Inception has Lexi as their main teacher, but they also get to learn from various choreographers.
We have so many New York City teachers and Connecticut teachers that are really focus and dedicate their time to us, and it's really fun because it's, they give us an opportunity to perform and stuff, and we've done performances of in Chaos, True Slam.
The seniors of Inception are graduating with memories that they've made while being in this group. They shared some of their favorite moments.
Auditioning for America's Got Talent was crazy.
Yes! Oh my God.
That was very fun and just crazy. Probably
I can't believe we did that.
Every Chaos we've been to.
Chaos is a convention, like a dance convention for 1 or 2 days.
It is bittersweet for them as it marks the end of some of their dance careers and their last year getting to perform with each other after forming close friendships.
I'm going to miss dancing because I've been doing it my whole life, and I feel like this is really starting to become the end, which is getting sad. But we're all truly best friends, so.
And we just have so much fun
yeah.
in class. You don't have this type of fun anywhere else. You really don't.
To keep up with the program and the Inception dance crew performances, follow @Sacred Heart University Dance on Instagram. This has been Megan Harkins reporting for The Pulse, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Sacred Heart's dance program is just one of the many ways students can get involved on campus. But if you don't have the moves to join the program, there still are plenty of options to get involved. Isabella Gerardina is going to give us a rundown on the Sacred Heart clubs. Isabella?
Thanks, Brad. Sacred Heart University offers over 80 student-run clubs and organizations to all undergraduate students on campus. There are academic clubs, community and civic engagement clubs, cultural identity clubs, interfaith clubs, leisure and interest clubs, pre-professional clubs, student governance clubs, honor society, and multimedia clubs. Are you interested in all things television and media? The multimedia clubs here at SHU are a great way to get involved and gain useful experience. The Film Club, Her Campus Club, Sports Media Club, the Spectrum newspaper, and our very own The Pulse are great ways to strengthen your skills in writing, editing, and production. These clubs give students the opportunity to meet fellow students who share similar interests, connect with faculty and staff outside of the classroom, and to learn more about the field they're interested in. For more information, visit SHU's website under Clubs and Organizations. Don't be afraid to get involved, and back to you. Wow, there's so much here to do at SHU.
There's a lot to do off campus, too. Did you know there's quite the haunted history right here in Connecticut? Victoria Montori has a story of all the paranormal activity just minutes from SHU.
Everyone loves to be spooked on Halloween, but here in Connecticut, there is plenty to be scared about all year round. Right now, I am standing on what is known as one of the most haunted places on Earth. Just 10 minutes outside of Sacred Heart University's grounds is what used to be known as the Warren's Occult Museum, where guests were required to bless themselves with holy water right before entering, until it was permanently closed. This museum was established in 1952 by Miriam's Ed and Lorraine Warren, which has now been taken over by their son-in-law, Tony Spera. Over time, this museum has amassed a collection of haunted artifacts from all over the world, ranging from satanic ritual items to the infamous Annabelle doll. Also seen in this museum are mannequins dressed as the most notable supernatural sightings, one being Hannah Crana, known as the Witch of Monroe. There's also the dinosaur toy from The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, shadow dolls, and so much more. To this day, Sparrow said the museum is still taking in items. Before me is where Ed and Lorraine Warren rest. Born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut, this couple has investigated over 10,000 cases during their career. These real-life haunting experiences is what inspired the Conjuring series as well as other movies, one being The Haunting in Connecticut. This suburban home could exist in any town in America. It looks normal, but according to Ed and Lorraine Warren, this house was confirmed possessed. In 1986, the Snedeker family moved into the Southington house, which used to be a funeral home. The family found various mortuary toys, including a hoisting apparatus for coffins, a medical gurney, blood drains, and toe tags. The Warrens came to investigate this home when the owners claimed that their son was experiencing personality changes that were violent in nature, as well as seeing ghosts and spirits throughout their home. After visiting the home, Ed and Lorraine proclaimed the Snedeker house to be infested with demons, inspiring the movie The Haunting in Connecticut. Susan Trotta Smith is now the owner of this so-called haunted home, although she told NBC Connecticut, "Our house is wonderful. This is all Hollywood foolishness." Is this just some Hollywood tale? You have to decide for yourself. Dylan, I'm...
Victoria?
Well, I hope she's, okay. I guess that just goes to show you shouldn't mess with the paranormal.
I agree. Well, that's all we have for you today.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to tune in to the next episode.
And we want to wish you and your families a happy Thanksgiving from The Pulse. I'm Megan Harkins.
And I'm Brad Hutchison. We'll see you next semester on The Pulse.
Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat turkey in a big brown shoe. Love to eat the turkey at the table. I once saw a movie with Betty Grable. Eat that turkey all night long. 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. Turkey, turkey dee, turkey, turkey dap. I eat the turkey and I take a nap.